at least 15 black people on that montage. Hey! Well, I'm here at the Academy Awards, otherwise known as the White People's Choice Awards. You realize if they nominated hosts...
All right, turn them off. Turn the sub-moron off. Who was more racist last night, Chris Rock or Hollywood? Welcome to the Savage Nation. Were you offended by this sub-moron's anti-white tirade, anti-Asian tirade? Was he born in a basket outside the 2 a.m. club? This man would be nothing, was it not for Hollywood. Who is he? They created him. Nothing he said was funny. It was all racism. He attacked Asians. You didn't see that part of it? No one saw that, the pogrom against Asians, taking Asian children on the stage, making a mockery of their intelligence, making a mockery of their ability to do mathematics at the Oscars. If it was a white host making fun of black children on the stage, what might have happened today with the junkies in the audience? Have you heard what the Asian American people have been saying about that last night? No, that didn't make it to your newspaper. What does that tell you? Who is more racist, Chris Rock or Hollywood or the newspapers? You figure it out. Now, the ratings were in the toilet. They collapsed. They crashed because anyone who turned it on to see what he was going to do turned it off shortly thereafter. Way down. What he did was he bashed white people as though it's fun. Why would any sane white person watch a 3.5-hour pogrom against their own race and not turn it off unless they work in Hollywood and they're on drugs? Anyway, that's the Hollywood Oscars for you. I don't even want to play the jokes. The phone number is 855. Asians not spared by Chris Rock at Oscars. You missed that one? Do we have the mocking of the Asian kids? That was disgusting. That was really hideous. I bet you missed that one. Of course, not on there. The best speech last night was from the biggest phony of all, and a fine actor, by the way. I love DiCaprio. DiCapito. He was born without an actual brain. He actually has a head but no brain, so we call him DiCapito. DiCapito is known as a party animal in Hollywood. Everyone knows he's the new Jack Nicholson. I could use another phrase for what he is, but it's a family show. Let's just call him a party animal. If it was a nightclub performance and I was smoking a cigar and having a drink, I would call him a different name than a party animal. But that's what he is. Private jets, big yachts. God bless him. Love him. And then he gives a speech last night after getting an Academy Award about, guess what? Not ISIS. No, about climate change. And clip 8, listen to this phony. Listen.
Climate change is real. It is happening right now. It is the most urgent threat facing our entire species, and we need to work collectively together and stop procrastinating. We need to support leaders around the world who do not speak for the big polluters or the big corporations, but who speak for all of humanity, for the indigenous people of the world, for the billions and billions of underprivileged people who will be most affected by this. For our children's children, and for those people out there.
I love it. Again, what was the key words? Big corporations. Now, where does he derive his money from? Big corporations, investment banks who fund his stupid movies. He couldn't even say species. He tripped over the word species. It was too hard for him. As he dashed off to his private jet with the bimbos waiting for him to go pollute with the, Caprio 1. It's astounding. The guy is such a good actor that he believes his own lines. Let us not take this planet for granted. I did not take tonight for granted. Thank you very much. As he rushed off to a party. We are going to continue talking about the violence and pornography that is spewing out of the sewer pipe of Hollywood to the world, which has triggered the Islamic revolution around the globe. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what anyone says. It's a reaction to the sewer pipe of Hollywood. You could say it's our foreign policy with regard to Israel, but it doesn't explain the Islamic violence in Indonesia. It doesn't explain the Islamic violence in all of those other hot points around the world. No, it doesn't. You can blame the Jews all you want, but I'm going to say that most of the Islamic hatred for the West is not about Christianity per se. It's about the culture. What do you mean the culture? The pornography and the violence that is being created, disseminated through the sewer pipe of Hollywood. And so I want to talk again today about this issue because somebody has to knock their heads together. Somebody has to take Ratzenberg, and bang their heads together and say, the party is over, Bubala. It's time for you to understand that the world is not going to take your vile garbage anymore. I don't care if you created the presidency. You're not gods. You're not Caesars. So I'm going to read for you the Motion Picture Production Code, which was the industry moral censorship guidelines that governed the production of most U.S. pictures released by major studios between 1930 and 1968. It was known as the Hays Code, named after Hollywood's chief censor of the time, Will H. Hays. And so people followed this code. I told you I grew up in a time when my father said certain things were never allowed to be shown in movies, but you don't know why. Well, there was a code. And that code was thrown out around the same time that Allen Ginsberg, William Kunstler, and other of the most despicable human beings appeared on the planet, meaning on the social scene. 1968, when marijuana made its way into the mainstream, and when left-wing fanaticism threatened to tear down civilization itself, they tore down any restraints upon Hollywood, and the rest is history. The production code spelled out what was acceptable and what was unacceptable content for motion pictures produced for public audience in the U.S. So what was not allowed to appear in movies? What was not allowed to appear in movies up until 1968 when William Kunstler, Allen Ginsberg, I can name a few others who destroyed Western civilization, shook the pillars of civilization and almost destroyed us. I don't know that we've survived, frankly. Among the things that were not allowed to appear in movies, you're listening to the Savage Nation, were the following. Pointed profanity, suggestive nudity, the illegal traffic in drugs, children's sex organs, ridicule of the clergy. Let's pause right there. Do you know of one movie that's called a drama today or action that does not have profanity, nudity, drugs, children half naked, or a ridicule of the Catholic Church? I don't know of one. Ask Katzenberg, Matzenberg, and Ratzenberg why they continue to make such vile filth. Let me go on. Among the things that required special care, according to the Motion Picture Production Code, when dealt with in the movies, were the following. The use of the American flag. Jeffrey, the use of the American flag, the thing that has given you your fame and fortune, Mr. Katzenberg, the thing that you spit upon, in my opinion. Arson, the use of firearms, theft, robbery, safe-cracking, dynamiting of trains, mines, and buildings. Couldn't show them in the movies. Brutality and possible gruesomeness. Ha! Oh, Marty Scorsese, where would you be without this? Martin Scorsese, the great genius, old Marty. Everyone refers to him as Marty on a first-name basis because he's such a nice guy. Or Robert De Niro or Sean Penn. Nice liberals. They're all psychotic left-wingers, aren't they? So let me interject this. Which actors and directors, aside from Sean Penn, in your opinion, are most guilty of violence, which they then cover up with their excessive liberalism? It's an old game. You make your living showing extreme violence. You make your fortune that way, and then you pretend you're a liberal. You go to Haiti and you, I don't know what you do in Haiti. I have no idea what he did down there. No one does. Or you towed a machine gun in Louisiana after the Hurricane Katrina to show you're a tough guy in life as you are in the movies. So which actors, aside from the despicable Sean Penn, in your opinion, are most guilty of violence, which they then cover up with their extreme liberalism? So let me go on now with the other things that required special care when dealt with in movies, while Katzenberg, Matzenberg, and Ratzenberg were still wild-eyed, woolly-eyed hippies and not yet making movies. The use of the American flag, arson, the use of firearms, theft, robbery, safe-cracking, dynamiting of trains, mines, buildings, brutality, gruesomeness, technique of committing murder, Jeffrey, by whatever method. Technique of committing murder, Mr. Spielberg. Sympathy for criminals, Mr. Spielberg. Sedition, Mr. Scorsese, Spielberg, Katzenberg, Ratzenberg. Apparent cruelty to children and animals. The sale of women or of a woman selling her virtue. A woman selling her virtue. A woman selling her virtue. Don't they all do it? Can you name one Hollywood slut who's actually married, who's had a baby in the last year? They're a mom. Don't you love they're a mom? Don't you love that they're all moms walking around with their baby now, like the baby with odd names, no American names, of course. Names such as Hermes or scarf or handbag or shoe or nail polish. Here's my little daughter named Nail Polish. Here's my other baby named Diamond Ring. Here is my baby named Gucci. Here is my baby named Poochie. Wait until Poochie becomes a man. You'll really see something. No husbands, but they're all moms. Suddenly they want to cash in on the image of mom and apple pie. You couldn't show rape or attempted rape. Or you could do it, but you had to do it in a special way. Deliberate seduction of girls, Jeffrey. The institution of marriage could not be assailed and ridiculed, Jeffrey. The use of drugs, Alec. Titles or scenes having to do with law enforcement or law enforcing officers. You had to treat them delicately. You couldn't turn every cop into a criminal and every degenerate bum into a hero, Jeffrey. I've just read to you the Motion Picture Production Code. That was a set of standards, all followed by the major studios between 1930 and 1968. Tell me what the standards are today. Tell me what the standards are today. Or call me with which actors, other than the despicable fraud Sean Penn, in your opinion, are most guilty of violence, which they then try to cover up with extreme fraudulent liberalism. When I come back, I'm going to take your calls on the Savage Nation. I'm going to take your calls on those who are going to walk the wall of shame. We're going to have the wall of shame today of actors, directors, and others, even the men behind the scenes who have destroyed America's psyche and who have triggered the Islamic revolution around the world. I'll be right back.
Savage.